Hello, Tom Stapleton here, Executive Director from the Wakefield Community Access Television Station. And I have a wonderful person here that we're all dying to hear from. Town Clerk Betsy Sheeran. How are you again?
I am well. You're so kind, Tommy.
well,
You're very kind.
You don't get to see too much of you anymore now, so I have to grab it when I can.
When you can, yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So you must have an awful lot of news because we haven't met for a while.
No, we haven't. Well, we haven't met because of the special election.
Yes.
And then you went on vacation.
Uh-huh.
And I hope you had a nice time.
It was
you and
very
Dory.
good, yeah.
And then we just had to juggle things around. And I want to thank, by the way, I know we were supposed to do this at 1 o'clock, and I couldn't make it at 1. I had something going on at work, and I would love to thank the athletic director for being kind enough, Brendan, to change his time and be flexible so that I could come on at 2 and he could have the 1 o'clock slot. So
well, he was pleased to do that, but he's a talker. So
yeah,
it was
what's
good.
your point?
We were a little late there. So
you don't want people coming on here just staring.
No, that's true.
Exactly.
All right, then.
Yeah.
So what's new in Wakefield since the last time we met?
Okay, well, I'll get to the election, the July 19th election in a minute, but I want to tell you something I've been doing, and I'm keeping up with it. A lot of the births, deaths, and marriages are archived, and they're on paper. I'm going back well over 120 years, well, more, obviously. And I wanted to get them into plastic sleeves so that when people do come and are searching for some particular thing, and we have to keep them in perpetuity anyway.
Yeah.
That they'd be protected, as protected possibly as we could be in by year in loose leaf folders. So I was going through, I think I did 2000, 1905, 1906, 1907, and I'm into 1908 now, which I am continuing to do. But while I was doing 1907 marriage certificates, information is listed there, the name of the person, where they're from, what their occupation is. It's very interesting historically. And I came to one, I just want to share this with you, and I'm sure Nancy Bertrand will say, oh, Betsy, I knew all about that, but, because she's the guru of, history in Wakefield.
Not much she doesn't know.
So I was looking at this, and all of a sudden I saw the groom's name was John Batterson Stetson, Jr. So Stetson, okay, Stetson hat. Then I look, and he's a hat manufacturer. That's his occupation. And his father, and he's from Philadelphia. I said, oh, it's interesting. Father, of course, was John B. Stetson, Sr., and he became engaged to someone, a young lady from Melrose, who took out their marriage intentions in Wakefield. And Charles Hartshorn, by the way, was town clerk then.
Oh, that's
interesting, isn't it?
Hartshorn House.
Hartshorn House, Hartshorn Insurance, right down generation by generation.
Wow.
So I Googled Stetson, thinking it must be the Stetson hat company, and it was. It was his father that founded it in 1895, I think it was, or whatever. And they were in business up until 1970, when they sold out. 1970, sold out to a company called Hatco Incorporated, and then in 1980 they tried to make a comeback as the Stetson Hats. And or that name, that business name, and it didn't last. But I was looking and it said that Gene Autry and John Wayne, they all wore Stetson hats and so forth and so on. And George, I think it was George H.W. Bush, when he was president, gave a Stetson hat to the president of Sudan in a state visit. And the gentleman from Sudan, the president, liked it so much that he ordered several and has never seen in an official picture without this hat on. Now, this was years ago, of course. But I just thought it was kind of interesting for Wakefield. And then I was noticing a lot of people came from Austria. And I'm thinking, why so many from Austria? Like maybe every fifth one, it would be Boston or Cambridge or wherever. And Austria. So I Googled Austria, and it was during those times that there was great political unrest in Austria, Austro-Hungary, so to speak. And people must have emigrated, as they will often do when there's political turmoil, elsewhere, and maybe came into Canada or New York or Boston, which would have been the ports coming in from there. I just thought it was historically very interesting, but I love the Stetson hat, so I just thought I'd throw that out to you.
That's pretty amazing, though, when you look at it, and the document is in great shape.
Yes, it is, and I want to make sure it stays in great shape.
It's just amazing. And the handwriting, I was noticing the handwriting. It's just beautiful.
It's absolutely perfect. It's the next step to almost like a calligraphy, because you notice calligraphy, it's not calligraphy, obviously, but beautiful penmanship. Just absolutely beautiful. lovely penmanship. So I just brought that along just as an aside.
Very interesting stuff.
Type thing.
You'll probably find some other interesting things as you go through.
Yeah, as I go along, because I'm trying to get them into the sleeve without damaging any bit of them, you know.
Yeah, right.
But that being said,
so, what about the election?
the election had a larger turnout than I thought.
Right.
12.4, I think it was. And I got the information up to you at 8:32. It was unofficial, but I got it up to you as soon as I possibly could, because you said Barbara was going to run it along.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
it's a trailer almost. And I give credit to the 6 people, the candidates who were running. They got their people out.
Right.
We had quite a few absentee votes because a lot of people were going to be away, where it was, summertime, right after the 4th. But yeah, it was a larger number of people coming out than I expected. But that being said, that was 30 days ago. And now we're on to the next one.
Right, yeah, that was my next question. How's that going to go now?
All right, no early voting for the primary. Early voting is going to take place for the presidential in November, so one step at a time. With this primary, in fact, we're open tomorrow, and the Secretary of State's office changed the time. Tomorrow, now I know this isn't going to air before then, but I've sent it out to every form of media that I could think of, and print and otherwise. We're to be open tomorrow. It's the last day to change your to register to vote or change your political party preference. And we're open. We're supposed to be open till 8 at night. Of course, we close at 12:30, so we'd be open for an extra, 6.5 hours. But the Secretary of State's, so I sent all of that information out for the 8 p.m. Then the Secretary of State's office, about a week and a half later, changed it to 5 p.m. So we're open tomorrow. Town Hall isn't open. And the town.
Would you give us the date, just so people know?
Friday, August 19th.
Oh, 19th.
We'll be open until 5 o'clock. Just the town clerk's office, specifically for voter registration or changing of political parties.
Okay.
And then that's the cutoff for the primary. Then that's it. The end. No more. And then of course we kick into the primary, and we're doing absentee ballots for that now, which is on a Thursday. September 8th. Right. Then I'm going to give you some information about early voting, which will kick in prior to the presidential. Yeah. But I did want to go over one thing. And
let me just interrupt you for a second. Change party affiliation.
Right.
Democrat, Republican. Is it unenrolled? Is that what they call it now? What do they call it?
There are 4 parties.
That's what I want to know.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have your Democrat, your Republican. I brought that because there's great confusion with people, and you can't tell people how to.
That's what I want to ask you a question about.
I have it right here.
Yeah.
All right. Back in the day, and I'll go back in the day, people were either Democrat, Republican, or independent.
Independent.
At that time.
Yeah.
All right. So you could go in and pull any ballot that political ballot that you wanted. Since 2000 whatever, there is now a united independent party. And that's one of the 4 that are recognized in this state. So we have Democratic Party, which is your D, Republican Party, obviously the R, the Green Rainbow, which is designated as J in the great grand scheme of parties, and the United Independent Party, which is uppercase CC. All right? We've had people come in, and they want to either switch from Republican or Democrat to what in their mind is independent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
All right? But that's
unenrolled.
But they'll come in as independent. They want to become an independent.
Okay.
Now, I can't say to them, look, you don't want that. I can't tell them that, obviously.
Yeah.
But unenrolled is what they want. They want to be unenrolled so that when they go in a primary, they can choose. I want a Democrat one, I want a Republican one, I want a Green Rainbow, or a United Independent Party. So when people come in, now remember, we take voter registration online, we take it through the Registry of Motor Vehicles. I don't have that to show them right away. It's on our website and everything. But let's say you came in and you wanted to switch from Green Rainbow to unenrolled, but you called it independent. I'm going to print out a thing that's going to go to your home to say you came in on such and such a date, an acknowledgement. But on that, and it's just a heads up, I put one of these in as well. And I highlight United Independent Party, and I send it out. If you choose to read it, you choose to, then you might say, well, I don't want that. I want it to be unenrolled. Now you can come back and change it to unenrolled. You can say, I don't want to be in, I don't know what this one is. I meant I want it to be unenrolled. So there's a difference in the independent and unenrolled in some people's minds. I would say we don't get too many that sign up for the United Independent Party per se.
Yeah.
But I would say out of those that do, I will tell you 80% of the people come back and they'll say, no, we want to be, and they know they're not enrolled. So this is a way to let them know without giving my opinion one way or the other. And then there's some that stay, and that's fine.
So if somebody wants to vote,
right,
they can come in to their precinct and they can say, I will take a Democratic voting form or Republican.
Right, however you're registered. You're going to check in. You're going to say, I live at 2 Main Street.
Yeah.
All right. Stapleton, Thomas, 2 Main Street.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a designation next to your name.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
DRJ,
Yeah.
Green Rainbow, or CC, United, or no party, which is the unenrolled. And then you can make your choice.
At that point.
At that point.
Oh.
Right. Okay?
Okay.
Now, in the presidential, you're just going to take a ballot because everybody's going to be on the same ballot.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you vote for whomever you so choose. Now, we have, I'm going to send pictures of the ballot to the paper, and I'll send some up to you.
All right.
If you want to run them as a paper, to show
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
there are no people running on the Green Rainbow Party in the primary. There are no people running in the United Independent Party. There's just nobody. I don't believe, there might be one person. Anyway, I'll get them, and I'm going to get them to the newspaper as well, so people can look. Now, they can't change before 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's done. It's a done deal for the primary. They can always write something in.
Mm-hmm.
If they wind up with the United Independent ballot,
Yeah.
you can always write something in, either in a Democrat, Republican, Green Rainbow, or whatever. But that's what I send out.
Okay.
I don't want to get, it's,
Yeah, no,
it's people's preference,
I wanted to kind of clear that up because I know that it was confusing.
It's very
It is
confusing to people.
And they get there and they go to vote and all of a sudden they can't be unenrolled because they got a D next to them
That's
or an
right,
R. And
that's
well, I
right.
don't want to do that.
Right,
And
right.
there you go, yeah.
So,
You got to change it.
absolutely,
that's
and
good.
they have that option to do that.
Yeah.
And in the past, since Monday, I'll bet you we've sent out easily, whether they've come in person, because we sent out an acknowledgement, give them an acknowledgement, in person, online, on DMV. At least a couple of hundred people have registered to vote or change their party affiliation, whatever it may be. And that's a personal thing. That's, So that's the one thing.
That's
and
that,
this
okay.
does go out. And down at Town Hall, we've had, since we got them, sample ballots up. Because, of course, we have 2 different ballots. Because of the split in precincts 1, 2, 3, and 7, which are in one district, and 4, 5, and 6 in another.
That's right, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, well, I didn't want to interrupt your flow there, but I just felt comfortable bringing that up because I'm sure there's confusion out there.
No, I wanted to talk about that. That's why I brought
okay,
it.
good,
It's
all right.
very important, but by the same token, I can't try to twist somebody's arm into doing or say to them, no, you don't want to be in that. You want to be an unenrolled. I know what you want. I can't say that because I probably might assume that's what they want,
Yeah.
But we've had about probably 80% of the people and more come back and say, this isn't what we wanted. Before I get into October, we're chasing down, hounding dog owners that haven't paid their dog licensing fee.
It's so expensive, isn't it?
It is. It's the cheapest in the state. It's $5. But after May 30th, it became $10. There was a $5 fine.
All right.
But it was funny. I bumped into Officer Scory this morning, and he said, Betsy, do you have a list of the dogs that are registered? I said, indeed we do. And he said, can you get it to me? I said, I'll send it to you by, which is the way Rose Morgan has it. And she's right on top of things. She's right up to the minute, which is great, as is Denise Oates. They're just, I say it every time I'm here, but I mean it sincerely. They're fabulous people to work with, great work ethic. And I said, we'll get it to you, and we have it numerically by dog tag number. You don't know what the dog's name is or who owns it.
Right.
But the police get a lot of calls, complaints in the evening of stray dogs, blah, blah, blah. But if they have the tag, they're all set. So they can look it up numerically.
Yeah.
So I came in from speaking with Officer Scory, and I said to Rose, will you email that whole list? We took it right up to date. Bang, it went off electronically to him. So he'll have that list at the police station and able to look it up by number. You know, so if your Bowser gets loose, and I know you have a dog because you did register, you have the pooch, they'll be able to identify the owner immediately.
That's good.
Because it may be listed, that's the first column in a spreadsheet. But then you have the owner's name, the owner's address, the owner's contact number, and then
what if they don't have tags?
the breed. If they don't have tags, they don't have tags. We can't go.
Can't do anything.
Can't do a darn thing about that.
Yeah,
Then they're
some
just
people-
going to scoop up the dog, call the dog officer, and the dog may wind up in a pound. Who knows?
Yeah.
So you know, a responsible dog owner will come down
Take 'em,
and take care, because it's shot money. You know, and you're protected.
Yeah.
And the dog is protected actually. You know, so we're right up to date on that, which is good.
All right.
Yeah. What else, Thomas?
So let's see. You had you said you wanted to get into something else here.
Right. I want to get into the early voting.
Early voting.
Now, I'm really going to, you know, you can only do, you don't want to confuse the whole issue.
Yeah.
You don't want to be making 4 different types of cakes at the same time, because something's going to wind up awry.
Yeah.
Let's get through the primary. Then we're going to kick into, and I'll have all of this information out. It's been in Mark Sardella did an article about it, which I have in the item.
Yeah.
I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. He came down, I gave him everything. We're constantly getting updates from the state. Like anything else, this is a first-time shot. They may have to tweak it afterwards, because there may be, you know, some little idiosyncrasies that won't work. But as of right now, I want to get through the primary. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Then kick into the presidential. And I think the percentage of people voting in the 2012 presidential, I think it was 84.2. So people come out.
Yeah.
I often liken they may not vote in between,
Yeah.
but they'll come out for a presidential. It's like people that just go to church on Christmas. You know,
Yeah.
I liken it to that. You know, it's fine. We'll go once a year. We'll go Christmas and have a good time and everything.
This year will really be amazing.
I think
and
they'll.
I'm not going to talk about it, but
Please don't. Please
just-
don't.
I
But
don't know what to think.
yeah, well, people are going to come out for many reasons.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and good. You know what?
Yeah,
We're a
yeah.
free country, and thank
That's
God
right,
we can
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, there are some countries where you take what you get, and
That's it.
that's it. End of discussion. But I'll just give you some of the preliminaries, and I brought it here.
All right.
By October 7th, I'm trying to make this logical. By October 7th, I have to designate and let the state know where the early voting site is going to be. Well, I've already done that. It's going to be at Town Hall. All right.
Okay.
I'm not. Where else am I going to take them? You know.
Right.
And then we have the long weekend. That's a Friday. And then Secretary of State's office wants the location, the dates, the times, blah 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 blah. And then starting on the 17th. I'm going to start to publish the dates, times of early voting, all right? And it has to be published at least once during this period, which I will do. I'll probably do it 2 or 3 times, all right? And then I have to designate again. It's my last day to say where it's going to be. And then we will start the early voting on October 24th, which is a Monday, all right? And again, I have to put the locations, dates, times, so forth and so on. And the early voting goes right up until November 4th. All right, so you have 5 days here, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 days for early voting. So some people have said, what's the difference between early voting and absentee? Well, not a whole heck of a lot. You know, absentee people are supposed to be out of town. But,
Right.
But, you know, whatever. But it closes on the 4th, and then, of course, the following Tuesday is Election Day. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be great. I think we'll get even more people. I hope it works well. I'll do everything in my power to make sure it works well. And we'll go from there. But the bottom line is nobody cares when I have to tell the Secretary of State's office. Starts on October 24th and finishes on November 4th. So 10/24 to 11/4. In the meantime and in the in-between time. I think I'm going to be open on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll give them every chance there is. And I figured if I were open on Saturday the 29th, a lot of people go out to the farmer's market, or they'll go to whatever grocery store they're going to go and do errands on a Saturday morning. Swing by Town Hall and vote, 9 to 12. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Has that happened before?
No, because we've never had early voting before. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's such a privilege, but and I know we're going to get a high turnout, but we've got to accommodate people to their time. It's a very mobile society now. You know, people are here, there, every day's in a rush. So we have to make it the best that we possibly can and the most accommodating. I think that's the word I wanted to do. And that's the way it is.
So let me ask you a question now. So in the big picture, on the presidential campaign or whatever that's coming up,
right?
All the votes that you get from Wakefield,
right?
How do you transpose that, or how do you give that information? And where does it go from there so that the main country or whoever deals with that knows how
it's going to go right to the Secretary of State's office.
Oh, okay. Goes to Secretary of State, and then they take it and they give the information to somebody in Washington or something?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
It's eventually going to
So that's how it works.
Yeah. We get it off our plate as soon as we can, after double checking and everything, right?
Yeah.
And that election will be the last election that we're using voting machines for. We have new voting machines coming in. And the first time they're going to be used will be next year, when we only have one election, where this year we had 5.
That's right, yeah.
5. March 1st, right? Then the April 26th election, the July 19th, the September 8th, and the November 8th. So it's 5 and 16.
That's a lot.
But next year we only have the one, the town election. And I think it's a good one to, everyone will be trained in how to use them. But they're up and coming. Right now we're cannibalizing some of them. They're all in great shape, and I compliment the IT department constantly. You know, and everything's up to snuff. And we have a backup machine, but it's time. These things have gone the way of the dodo. You know, but I mean, it'll get us through.
Yeah.
And we test them. We have to test all the ballots. I know nobody cares about that probably, but we have to test all of them.
What do you mean by test them?
All right, we had to take 50 Democratic ballots, 50 Republican ballots, times 2, because we have 2 districts.
Yeah.
So there's 200 ballots, 5 from the Green Rainbow, 5 from the United. So we had to take 10, because we had to take them from each one. And we have to go through, and they're pretend ones.
Yeah.
And we test them. It's a team of 2, like you and I could do it.
Yeah,
So sometimes I write something in, and we tally everything so that it matches perfectly. Then it goes to IT. They feed it into the machines to make sure it comes back exactly the way we fed it in.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew there was a process, but I had no idea.
Testing the ballots,
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. They have to be done.
Now, the machines that are coming in after these, are they going to be modern? Are they going to be, I don't have no idea what they look like or anything, but...
Right, they're going to be, the specs are out for them.
Yeah.
You know, because it has to go out
to bid.
because of the procurement law in Massachusetts. It has to go out for bid. Has to be out for X number of days, come back, blah, 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 blah. We'll see the bids. The selectmen will get the bids.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we'll go from there. But, yeah, and it's time. You know, everything runs its course.
Right, yeah.
And these are things I want to be able to, although everything's gone fine, you know. And so what else?
So let's see. Okay, yeah, I know what we can do. We've got a few minutes left here. So how long now have you been in your position as town clerk? What's it been?
All right, I was sworn in May 3rd.
Yeah,
I've been in every day. I go in at 7 in the morning.
I know that.
I take my lunch there, and I work till the end of the day. And I think I finished, so May to June, July, August 3rd was 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm 3.5 months there.
3.5 months.
I love every minute of it.
And that's what I wanted to ask you.
I love it.
I mean, it certainly shows that you really enjoy what you're doing, because when I hear you talk, you know, you're excited about things. You're diving into 1908 information. Or whatever.
I'll be going back. I want to get everything up to snuff.
That sounds, it sounds great.
There's only one thing that really irritated me. Now, and I'll get into this like after the presidential, because there's no need of it now, and it doesn't affect too many people. There's a new law going into effect January 1st.
Yeah.
Public records. All right. So yesterday we got a call from an attorney out of state. Wanted to know all kinds of information. I'm thinking, we're not paralegals. What do and, you know, time-consuming stuff. Now, he didn't request it under public information. And I'm thinking, you know, this could be abused because why not call a fellow attorney in Massachusetts and have their paralegal look up all this stuff for some estate that he's going to probably be paid, no offense to attorneys, you know, $500 or $700 an hour that he's going to charge some estate with, and he's having us do it, you know. So I very, you know, nicely told the girls that they can ask for the information, and we'll get back to them when we calculate the hours that are put into it. And that's what it comes to. I mean, they were going way, way back, which you have to go into the archives. In the meantime, there's people at the window. That kind of irritates me. So I have my questions about the freedom of information. But we have to do it. It's the law. And it is, you know, it's public record. I get that.
Was that just passed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Goes into effect January 2nd, probably.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's quite complicated, actually.
Was that? Well, with that in mind, we are out of time, so we have to say goodbye. But I'm looking forward to our next get-together. And when will that be?
Let's do it after the primary, but prior to the presidential. Let's do it in between September 8th and November. Sometime in maybe the end of September.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe in a month or so, Tom.
Sounds good. Yeah. Because
sounds great.
Everything will be hopping right then.
Oh yeah, it'll be cooking.
All right.
You know. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Nice to see you.
It's been great, and thank you to your staff for.
You're welcome.
They're volunteering their time.
All righty.
Yeah, thank you.